Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Boom Thursdays. This is Tim. This guy over here is Jamie, and we are right in the middle of some super awesome Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin, the Elterian War. Jamie, why don't you go ahead and take this epicness away?
And epic as it's been, it is continued, and I believe next month is the end of it. So this is getting us right in, smack dab into this fight.
Yep, we are at the start of the third and final act.
Yeah, and it's actually been pretty much amazing the whole ride through so far. So again, guys, if you haven't checked out these, I would get this in trade form. If you guys are waiting, definitely. If not, pick up those floppies, put it on your pools, put both of them on your pools, because we don't know if there's gonna be another crossover in the future or not.
Right.
And if it's anything like this, you guys are gonna not want to miss out.
Yeah.
So with mine, I have Mighty Morphin issue 15. This jumped around a little bit. So we got 1,000 years prior to the events that are happening now, and we got Lord Zed fighting Zordon on Elterian.
See, you're already making sense with my stuff.
Okay, good, because I was worried because there's some stuff that I'm like, why is this not probably in this issue? We have that, and then now we got to basically they're going back and forth. Basically, Zed's telling Zordon, I want it better for you. You betrayed me, and Zordon's like, I didn't. I wanted to fight next to you. So we jump to current time where they're fighting on the moon. Still having the same argument, basically, just 1,000 years into the future.
Well, back in the 1,000 years in the past, was Zed in his meat suit then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he was in his meat suit. It was just because the way they explained it in the prior issues is that when he was part of the Elterian, he was the supreme leader, commander. Yep. I want to say, when he touched the Zeo crystals, it burned him, burned all of his skin off. Yep. So he became the meat suit, and then changed his name to Zed. But that's all thanks to Zardos. So, right. Which we'll be getting into him a little bit later too.
Oh yeah.
So we jump again forward to the moon. They're battling, going at it. It's the same concept, same war, but now we're on the moon. So that jumps into what's going on at Angel Grove, where we have, I believe it is Jason, Trini, and is it Zach? Zach's the ranger for that one. Yeah.
Yep.
They're fighting alongside Tommy and Zords and everything else, and Matthew Cook, who is the new Green Ranger. And the battle is just going on and on and on. Basically, the Dragazords under water, trying to escape, having a fight, and then we get into another push forward where we're seeing Zordon and Zed fight again, and Zed's kind of telling him like, "You betrayed me. This is why I'm doing this." And Zordon's like, "I never betrayed you. I wanted to die next to you. If you were leading, I was on your side." He goes, whether it was the good or the bad.
So it's like what Jarrell and Zod could have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as they're fighting, it kind of leaves us off, with that fight, like what's going to happen next. There's a little cliffhanger for that section. And then we get into what's going on offside with another war going on, where it's like basically Zed's creatures like Goldar, all of his side guys are with all those villains are with the Power Rangers,
right?
And they're fighting alongside them, and you kind of get like a couple panels of it. You get a good feel for it. It's good to still see them in there because of the fact that they keep showing up in like a panel or two. So this one they got a full page. I'm happy.
Nice.
Especially when you get Goldar. Still my favorite to this day. Fister too. I mean, I don't think we've got Fister in this one, but we've seen him a lot.
Yep.
A lot more than normal. And so we jump back into we're jumping from there where the everyone's fighting with Zardos.
Yeah. Zordon, Zed, and Zardos are all.
Yeah, it's the uncommon Z's. Yeah. So it makes me want to go CBC because I keep saying it. But no, Zardos has all the crystals. He has a plan. As he's going through with his plan, Grace forms out of nowhere and knocks the crystals out of his hand, shattering them everywhere. Zardos is freaking out. He's like, basically like, you're going to see what happens when these Imperials come. And she's like, well, I stopped it for now. He's like, you didn't stop anything. And then he phases away. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? Now, quick pause for a moment, everybody. Got to realize Tim is reading Power Rangers and I'm reading Mighty Morphin. I have no idea what's going on in his.
Yeah, we did this on purpose too.
Until after we read the crossover.
Yep.
Then I'll be caught up on the respective books here. So we see that happen, and then it goes into the Zords again. So the Power Rangers get the Megazord going. We have Tommy talking to Kimberly and is basically like, Kim, do you need help? She's like, no, you got to go help Matthew. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to do this now. We're going to do this right. And sure enough.
Because you had like 2 Zords going at different Imperials, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so we literally get the Dragozord pop out and they just merge into one Zord. And we get 1 page of the White Tiger Dragon Zord.
That's amazing.
Looks amazing. And then that's it for that. So we get to very last, we get a panel or 2 of Zed and Zordon fighting, and then it goes to Zartus again, and he's like, there's one thing you always have to know. And then the last page is there's always a backup plan. He's standing there with one last crystal in his hand. And it ends. And now I'm mad because I probably missed out on the greatest epicest fight of all time with the White Tiger Dragon Zord. And
let me fill that in for you, unless you want to give your grade for your issue right now.
I'm gonna give my grade now.
Okay, that go for it.
So I want, as always with the art, I'm giving it 9.25. Like I feel you started this 2.5 thing on the podcast. I'm taking it over because I guess 0.3s aren't good enough. So with that 9.25. I want to go because it's still immaculate, like everything. But I'm just really upset that I didn't get more of the White Tiger Dragon Zord. That I'm more upset about more than anything. As far as the writing, I gotta go probably 8.5. So okay. we're about around like an 8.75 for me.
Right on. Overall. That's pretty solid though.
I really like this issue. I think reading them. Sitting down after everything's said and done between us, reading it, it's gonna be a perfect 10 across the board for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
And you know, obviously with the godlike Dukeshire and his lettering, it continues to be great. If I had to put that in there, it'd be perfect 10s every week. Dukeshire, listening, get on the show.
The lettering gets a solid 10, ladies and gentlemen.
It gets a 12.
Knocks it out of the park yet again.
Yes. So I'm about at 8.75 for this book. Like I said, once I get it, and honestly, I'll be the first one to say I hate trades, but I'll probably pick this up in trade if it comes out as a collection.
Oh, I'm going
just so I can read it entirely over and over again because this was great.
Okay, so 8.75 is what you give it?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty solid. So let me go ahead and start off my issue with Tiger Tail Strike. And
I don't want to know. I quit this show already.
That's like a page or 2 in, and it just goes bananas. Like my book starts off right after yours ends, and it just starts with the fights. The White Tiger Dragon Zord fighting against the Imperial. And at first, they're getting the snot knocked out of them because neither of them can work together. Because, you know, Tommy is being the overbearing mentor, and what is it? Matt? Is that his name?
Yeah, Matthew Cook.
Matthew Cook. He's kind of bucking the system, and he's like, "No, I got this. And Tommy's like, "Well, you really don't."
No pun intended. He's still green to this.
Exactly, so. And he's like, "Dude, the Zords are connected to the Morphin grid. So are we. We're one, man. If you can just let go and open up, we can take this guy down." And he's like this, and it comes out with the shield and all that stuff deflecting a blow, and Tommy's like, yeah, something like that. And it just goes on, and then it switches over to the Triple Z's, Zartus, Zordon, and Zed, you know, all fighting. Like Zordon and Zardos were doing battle at first because Zardos had that Zeo crystal in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he was speaking in colors. Like there were no words, it was just colors. And Zed hits him in the back and he's like, normally I wouldn't condone that, but I'll make an exception for you in this case. And Zed gets in the middle of that and it just kind of goes bananas. Like Zed's doing what he was saying before, you know, accusing Zordon of betrayal and things like that. And Zardos kind of turns to Zed and he's like, look, you know, we got a common enemy here, so why don't we join forces? And Zed is like, well, the last time we did that, you blew up my house. And
that did happen.
And Zardos is like, yeah, but you know, if you were in my shoes, you'd have done the same thing. And Zed didn't really say a whole lot, but yeah,
because he knew he was right.
Yeah. But the turns have tabled, and it's Zed, Zordon, and Zardos. But Zordon is able to convince Zed, like you were saying in your book, you know, all I ever wanted to do was fight next to you, man. All I ever wanted to do was be by your side. And convinces Zed that they need to fight together against their common enemy, which is Zardos. And it just goes from there. But then it goes back to the major battle, and you've got the Power Rangers up in space and then the Mighty Morphin title characters down below on Earth. And they're fighting for the lives of the planet, you know, everybody on the planet. They're fighting for everybody. And it just goes and goes and goes. And you have one Eternal that gets defeated by the White Tiger Dragon Sword, and the Blue Emissary comes out of that, which was cool.
Okay.
And he shoots off into space.
Eternal or Imperial?
Imperial, I'm sorry.
Okay.
They remind me of Eternals.
I know. Like, it has moments where I'm just like, am I reading a Marvel book?
It reminds me exactly of Eternals, and that's why I reference that all the time. And I even have Imperials underlined on my notepad. But
ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of technical difficulties. Our brains have shut off.
But with that being said, it just goes. The Blue Emissary comes out of the lifeless body of the Imperial, shoots up into outer space where the Power Rangers, Jason, Trini, and Zach are, and the cat creature, the Blue Ranger for them, are up there fighting the Imperials up above. And then you have the Imperials down below that are getting their collective hands handed to them by the Power Rangers. That one Imperial is killed, and then the Blue Emissary goes up to the Rangers up above, and he's like, I am here to help you. Are you guys ready to go into your final form? And they're like, yeah, we are. So you get the mega awesome super ultra Omega Zord in its final form. All four of their Zords combined together as one, and they blast down into planet Earth and split an Imperial in half. And it was wonderful to see, because like these Imperials, the way that Parrot had written them was like these things were next to indestructible, and even the Zords couldn't do anything against him. But this Mega Omega Zord comes down, and he's like, bloop, cuts it right in half, and I'm like, whoa, that's something else. So that happens, but then the dead Imperial, you have the other ones that have come down, you know, they're like, you know, even in death, we are one. And it forms and morphs with the dead Imperial and the other ones that are alive to make its own ultra form. And now that is ready to go against the Rangers, the Omega Zord, the Omega Zord final form, the White Tiger Dragon Zord, plus the Rangers collective Zord. So there's three of them versus the one Imperial with 6 hands or 6 arms. But then you go back to the Triple Z's fighting, and Zardos is just beating the snot out of Zed and Zordon. And the reason for that is because, you know, back in the past, when they were training and stuff like that, that's what Zardos knows. And that's the way these two guys are fighting. They pull back for a minute, and Zordon's like, look, man, he knows every move that we're going to do, you know, but I'm in a robot's body. You're a sorcerer. Why don't we do what he's not expecting us to do? And Zed's like, that's not a bad idea. And they split off, and then they come over and flank and start to attack, and it's absolutely amazing. But at the very, very end, the battle between Zardos, Zed, and Zordon is still going on. It's not finished, but back down on Earth, after the Super Imperial has made its grand entrance, there's more. We're brought in with the Horrid, and they have made their return into the titles, and you just see this massive horde of these vampiric creatures just falling onto the planet, and whoever it is that called them with them is like, I'm really glad I showed up when I did, because the Horrid are hungry. And that's the end of that.
Why do I feel like you got like the better of the titles on this one?
Well, see, I think you got more of the story part of it, which
I definitely got the world building side, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I want action. Once I saw that the White Tiger Dragonzord was like one, I'm like, Tim's got the whole thing.
So let me give you the breakdown. So I wrote my notes on this, and I'll just read them to you as is. Sheer fun is the best way to describe the issue that I read. That's exactly what it was. It's like that final fight scene in Transformers, or the final fight scene in Endgame. It's building up to that. Like I just said, and like you agreed, not much in-depth storytelling, but as a part of a larger storyline, this is the start of the third act fight scene. That's exactly what this is. The epic Zord and Imperial battles, the Zardos, Zed, and Zordon panel by panel beatdown. You couldn't ask for more in a comic book. This is exactly what you need. So with writing and artwork, the artwork always gets a solid 10 for me, but it's going to be lowered this time because on certain pages, like when the Triple Z's were fighting, it was a different artist. I'm not a big fan of that kind of change. Gotcha. I get why they're doing that, but I'd rather it stay consistent and coherent. So the entire book gets a very solid 8.5 out of me.
So we're close again. Yeah. Every week we've been kind of like
right there,
razor thin margins. I'm surprised with yours having more action and more.
That's what it seems like.
Fluidity to it. Like I thought it was gonna be. I was like, oh, here we go, 10 out of 10. Like,
no, but Parrot's doing a wonderful job here.
Yes.
On the storytelling. This is a Power Rangers movie that we could only wish to see on the silver screen. Even in animated form, this would be amazing. Find a Japanese studio to do this, dude.
I would have them take all my money.
Here's my paycheck. I don't need to eat this week. We'll watch Power Rangers, the Elterian
the
War.
whole week. Water and Power Rangers. That's my diet.
Francisco Mortarino, for the regular work he's doing on this book. Beautiful work. I love his work. Marco Renna, the pages 6 through 9 and 17 through 19. Great work, but it's just, it kind of takes me out of the moment. And
that's my artist.
Okay. So if I were reading it for Mighty Morphin only, wonderful, beautiful, but I think Francisco Mortarino's work suits the Power Rangers title
more.
Exactly.
in your realm, because like we said, we've been so used to this artist style since the beginning.
Yeah,
up to now.
And as far as the colors go, Raul Angelo, who's my colorist on Power Rangers, beautiful as always. But Sarah Antonelli, I believe, is the colors for you on yours, pages 6 through 9 and 17 through 19. Her colors are very vibrant, very bright, where Raul's colors are a little more muted. I guess is the right word. I'm trying to sound sophisticated, but I'm not.
Yeah. You don't want to be like, it looks dull.
Right. So, but it's not dull. It's just not as vibrant as like
the saturation's down.
Yeah. And obviously the king of letters himself, Ed Dukeshire.
Yes.
Once
the man,
again,
the myth, the legend.
with a big L. So, yeah. So, okay. So, Jamie, on your end, you get an 8.75 for Mighty Morphin. On my end, I get an 8.5. We're only off by a fraction. That's pretty amazing.
I feel like if I read yours, it would have been a perfect 10 for some reason. Like, I just would have been so stoked on the White Tiger Dragon Zord that I've been like, I don't need anything else. This is it.
Well, after this is all done, I'm going back to the beginning to read it all together.
That's what I have to do too.
Yeah.
And that's going to be like me and you sitting there like, dude, if we both would have read this, like one of us would have been more mad than the other because one of us would have taken over this review.
Exactly. No, Jamie, I'm going to be on this. No, Tim, you're not. I have to talk about this.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Okay, so
you can be fired over this.
Before we get out of here, Jamie, is there anything else you got to say to the fans?
Oh, guys, if you guys haven't noticed, we did change up a few things. New logo, new name. You were still going to be Codex, but Codex Stations where you're going to be able to find us now. As always, be kind to one another. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell as usual so you guys don't miss any more of the content that we're putting out. And we have a new member of the team, which we'll be announcing as soon as he gets in gear and sends me his files. So... So we're looking forward to that. And guys, keep hitting that like button because the algorithm says if you hit the like button, you're going to see more of us. So keep doing that.
Hey, and don't forget, guys, with the change being the Codex Station now, that is your one-stop shop for everything Codex related. And you guys know what that is. You're here for Boom Thursdays, decoding panels, obviously the podcast, mail calls, breaking the code. It goes on and on. And
recommended
it's not
reading.
stop.
Jamie
Absolutely.
Never sleeping. It just goes on.
The cool thing is you can find us on all social media and podcasting platforms. All you have to do is type in the Codex Station, and there we are. One place. There you go. All right. Once again, guys, this is Boom Thursdays. I am Tim. This guy over here is Jamie. We're doing Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers, the Elterian Wars. Jamie gets an 8.75. I do an 8.5. We are out of here, and we will see you next week.
See you in the next one, guys.